I love pecans. I don't just like them, I love them. And there's always that big debate over whether it's a pecan, a pecan, or any other variation of the word. And I just tell people, I don't care what you call them, just buy them and eat them. My primary job is the sales for the North American pecan division, whether that's import, export, anything that has to do with North American pecans, that's the sales of it, that's what I do. Well, growing up around the business, because my father, this is his 44th year in the industry, so my entire life, this is all the only thing he's ever done. And even before we were business for ourselves, I grew up around pecan shelling plants. And so for me, that was just a way of life. That was all we ever knew. My brothers and I, and as kids, when the plants were not in operation, I can remember Dad would go up there to check the building. We would kind of run around and play outside, and it was really cool to put a hairnet on and get a guided tour through the facility to know, well, this is this room and this is what this room does, and seeing the operation. The relationship with my father was tough at times just because he did work a lot. And so growing up as a kid, we missed out on a lot of that one-on-one time. I look back at it now and I say, hey, he was sacrificing then for the long-term betterment of our family. 3 years after I started working at the company, I left the company. And because working with family is very challenging on top of working with family in a very challenging business. And so we had a very candid conversation about that, how that I was opting to leave because I wanted to have a relationship with my father, not with a boss. Maybe I was being a little selfish, but I also think that the road that I chose at that time helped to define the road I would take later on, and it helped me to become better. And working for a few years away from the company helped me to realize that it's hard out there anywhere you go. And one of our colleagues at the office, when I was walking through the plant checking some things, one day asked me, they said, hey, how do I get your job? How do I get that office you got? And I said, well, it's really just working hard. And I think that my father was a proven example of that, because the company he worked for, he started off sweeping the floors. I really didn't know what was to come, and even in those early years, I don't think he did either. I don't think any of us ever dreamed that one day we would start our own business and it would be successful and grow. And it's funny, we always go back and forth, and we've had some pretty big clashes over, well, this is old school and this is new school. And there's been a few times I've had to kind of eat crow, because sometimes old school is the right way to do it. I never have to worry where I stand with him, that I always know that he's proud of what I've done and some of just the accomplishments of what we've made. And he tells my brothers and I all the time, he says, we've built this business together. That yes, I got it off the ground and got it started, but you guys came along and you were huge contributors to it to help make it what it was. And that's always, it's great when you hear it coming from a boss, but it's even better when you hear it coming from your father.